Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you an update of my giant pumpkins. And then if you notice, I have some sleeping bags here. We've had some cold weather the last few days. I'm hoping we're coming out of it here soon, but I'm going to go through kind of what I do when we get to these temperatures. Stay tuned. Make sure you watch this entire video. I was just filming the rest of it, and one of the funniest things that's happened to me while I've been filming happened, so make sure you stick around to see what happened. It is Saturday, September 6th, and I am standing next to my 1970 and a half Turner named Astrid. If you notice, she's under sleeping bags right now. I just wanted to show you kind of what I've been doing the last few days because our weather turned on us, and it's only been, I think it's been like a high of maybe 60, if it even got to 60 the last couple days. And then it's been a low around 40. And I know we had like real field temperatures in the 30s. But so every night the last, there's Dolores right there, but every night the last few nights I've been covering them with sleeping bags. So I have 2 sleeping bags on both of them. And I'm just trying to retain some of the heat. So throughout the day, they get hopefully a little bit of heat. I've been kind of keeping them uncovered a little bit, even without the sheets for a while. But I'm just kind of hope they get a little bit of heat during the day. And then before it starts to cool down for the night, I've been putting the sleeping bags on. And then in the morning, I wait till it gets to, close to 50 degrees. I think yesterday it maybe took around until like noon to get to 50. But then what I do is I uncover them, and I'll do that in a second and show you, but I'll uncover them, get the sleeping bags somewhere so they can get all the dew dried off them. And then I'll take the sheets off and just kind of leave them open to the sun to let the sun warm them up and then dry anything out. I don't want any moisture sitting on them. The other thing I do is maybe, I don't think I have where you can actually see this one, but on Dolores. So on Astrid here, there's a fan tucked over there that blows on a spot on the stem that gave me issues a few weeks ago, and it's been dry ever since. But Dolores has, I've showed it in previous videos, but Dolores has a lot of cracks on the stem side and has a bigger fan over there. So once, before it cools down for the night, I turn those fans off because I don't want cold air blowing on them all night. And then once I take the sleeping bags off, I plug the fans back in just to get things to dry out and just keep airflow going. But I'm going to take the sleeping bags off and then I'll give you a shot of what the pumpkins look like. So now I got the sheets off of Astrid, or the sleeping bags and the sheet off Astrid. She is 73 days old today. So I took her last measurement at day 70. And actually I was a little disappointed in the numbers because we actually had good weather from days 65 to 70. And if I measured correctly, which it's getting really hard to measure her, but if I measured correctly, she was only putting on about 12.8 pounds a day. And prior to that, she was putting on, I think the previous 5 days was like 27, and the previous 5 days before that was like 37. So it seems like she's really tanked in numbers. And that was before, some of that comes with age, but that was before these dips in the temperatures. So she, at day 70, I had her measuring at 1682. So she still has the potential to get to 2,000 pounds. I may be measuring wrong. She may be putting on weight internally. And I kind of figured it out, and she's roughly got to put on like less than 9 pounds a day the rest of the way to get to 2,000. So she still really has potential to get there. And we have no clue how thick her walls are. So she could be already close to there. Who knows? We won't know until we get there. But one thing I noticed on her is I noticed these yesterday, these cracks here, and I'm not sure how well they'll pick up on camera, but she's got a crack here, which seems to be a normal growth crack. But the one weird thing is and maybe it's just normal, but there's a mark right here that looks like it got hit. I don't know what that's from, and there's one right here that's on the end of this. It almost seems like she got hit by something, and that led to the crack, because this was super thin yesterday and it's opened a little bit, which actually makes me feel good because it's opening up a little bit to dry out, and I can see it's already drying out at the top. So I think it'll be just fine, but it's kind of weird that it's got that mark on it. It's funny because they almost look like fingernail marks, but I don't have any fingernails because, yeah, I just don't have any fingernails that would do that. So I don't know what that's from. And maybe, I don't know, maybe my boot hit it. That doesn't really make sense either because I don't have any buckles on these boots. So I'm not sure. I don't know what that's from, but I think it'll be fine. So I'll come over here and give you a quick look, and that is not the best look because I am in the way. But so this is Astrid. I'll measure her again in 2 days, and hopefully even with the low temperatures that she picks it up some. Wanted to give you a quick look because I don't think I've showed these up close lately, but wanted to give you a better look at these scars from like, gosh, I think it was probably maybe a month, 2 months ago. I think it was like a month and a half to 2 months ago, these scars showed up, or these injuries. But if you can see, they're all still doing well. And there's a bunch over here. But so far, I just keep an eye on these. We had rain the other day, and some of the rain sits in these grooves or these valleys. So what I do is I just go through and make sure those are dried out. I just take a towel or paper towel or the sheet that's on them and get everything dried out. But I wanted to show you those a little bit closer because even if you get some scars, they do, if your pumpkin's healthy, they will heal up. I want to show you these, and I'm trying not to get my camera shadow in there. So maybe if I go a little bit low, you can see these better. But this is from, my cat was on top of the pumpkin, and I might have showed this in other videos. She was on the pumpkin and she kind of rolled because she thought I was gonna pet her belly. She fell off and tried to grab the pumpkin on the way down. So she put some deep gouges in there, and they've healed up just fine. And actually the ones up there are from her climbing on the pumpkin. So she does do a good job at eating critters out here, but she also does every year do damage to some of my pumpkins. But usually they all heal up and I don't have any issues. But yeah, I guess it's a balance of things. I'm gonna go show you the 1931 Turner Dolores now, but just want to give you a quick look at Astrid's plant. She's got a really nice plant up here, so I don't know why she's slowing down so bad. Even when we had that good weather, I don't know if wasn't getting enough fertilizer, was getting too much water, not enough water. Honestly, not sure. I thought she would keep it going, but maybe she'll just go steady, slow and steady the rest of the way out. So nothing really new to show here on Astrid, but I just want to give you a glimpse at this side. I always come out here each day and kind of check to make sure she's not growing off the bottom there. And then off that side because she's getting close to that extension. But one thing that has showed up in the last couple weeks is this bulge was not here at all. So this bulged out and then it cracked. So that's really her biggest crack at this point. But it's weird because this bulge right there wasn't there at all, and it just showed up in the last couple weeks. So she is still growing. It's just maybe not quite as fast as I was hoping, but maybe it's all internal, but won't know until we hit the scale. So this is Dolores. I just got her uncovered. I just wanted to give you a glimpse of our kind of goofy shape up by the stem end there on the right. Just kind of, it's always been that way. since she was pollinated, but it is kind of still scrunched up. And then she has her growth on the left side there where she got bigger, but I'll bring you in closer so you can see her up close. So here she is closer. This is the 1931 Turner, Dolores. She is 76 days old today. It's gotta be, I think that's right. That doesn't quite sound right, but she's either 76 or 77. But she is still growing slow. She's always been slower than Astrid, but she is, I think, estimated at 12:30 on day 75. So she is gaining about 10, 11 pounds a day, which I don't know, like maybe my measurements are off. I don't know. She's got where she kind of sinks in at the bottom over there. So like that might take some weight away from her. But then my measurement on top, it goes right down the center between those two humps. So maybe those two humps add weight that I'm missing out on when I measure. So we'll find out at some point here. But she is still cracking a little bit down there. And then she's got some big cracks on the back side, or on the stem side, which maybe I guess is technically the front side. So I'll take you over there. I'll give you a quick glimpse of her plant first. So I'll come in here so you can see it a little better. But her plant kind of stops right in there, and then it's all of this over here. She has a really healthy looking plant. She has a lot of tertiaries in this area that I know there's at least a couple pumpkins that have opened within the last couple days. So I need to go in and get those out of there before they steal a bunch of energy from this pumpkin, from Dolores. But that is her plant. I'll take you on the front side of Dolores now. So here's the other side on the stem side of Dolores. There's the fan I was talking about earlier. But she is, if you can see all these cracks, at least the last time I looked at them, they all appear to be drying out. I will get this fan on after this video. It's warm enough out to put the fan back on. She's also got one up under there that, I don't know, they get, so the way these have been forming is they start out, what you see kind of down below, where they're like bigger cracks. And then what they do, because she must be healthy and growing okay, is they end up filling in like this. The pumpkin scabs them over and basically fills in the gaps as they heal up. So it doesn't stay, so far they haven't stayed as like big gaps, like deep ones. They've been filling out like that. So it's actually kind of nice because this one on top did that as well. But it's kind of nice that they're doing that, so I don't have to worry about all the moisture getting trapped inside there. But yeah, this one definitely needs the fan on just to keep it airflow going. And then the other thing I have to do on this one every so often is take a good look underneath, especially on this side where the sun doesn't hit it. It's on the north side. But I just got to take a good look there because that is where I've had to scrape out rot multiple times. Is just up under there. And so far it just keeps healing up, but I do have to keep an eye on that. And so far it's all the rot's been right here where it connects from the stem to the vine. So it's not like it's rotting, knock on wood, at the pumpkin, but it's all been like right here. So as long as I control this, I should be fine with the pumpkin. I just noticed that this is splitting here too, so I'm sure there's plenty of tension on this vine, but if all goes to plan, this one has only got a couple more weeks left on the vine before it goes to a weigh-off. But we'll see. We'll see if things end up changing or if that sticks with the plan. I almost forgot to show you my 2177 Ford pumpkin. So this is, I don't have a name for this one, but it's my 2177 Ford. It is 15 days old today. So, I don't know, it's probably smaller than typical for a 15-day-old. But it's been cold, and I don't expect a lot out of this one. But just thought I'd show you her. I did get rid of, I had two or three over here, at least one or two over there, and one on the main. I did cut all of those out. So you can see there's one right here, but I got all those out of here hoping that this one over here gets all the growth it can. But I do have to keep an eye out. There are tertiaries popping up here. I can see a little pumpkin on that one. It's a tertiary here, tertiary there. So they're popping up all over the plant. So I just need to make sure that I don't have other pumpkins growing on the plant. That would take away, especially with this one being so small. But here is a look, kind of cool look, I guess, with weeds in it. But I'll look at Astrid, which is the closest one, and then Dolores back there. But it's kind of cool to see them lined up from here. And it'd be even cooler if I had one over here that was huge, that could be lined up with all the three of them could be lined up. But at least I got those two going, and hopefully I can keep them that way. So I'm walking over to the patch where my daughter had Lucy. I wanted to show you something I discovered a couple days ago. So I've showed you in the past, like her patch is kind of going crazy. And then I showed you last time, I think, this pumpkin right here. I don't know how many pounds it is, but it's a decent sized pumpkin. But so over there I had mentioned that the plant's growing into the pasture. So I went and looked at it the other day, and I'll stop the video before I get over there because I got to go way around to get around these weeds and everything. But I want to show you a pumpkin that's over there. It's kind of funny. So now we're on the other side of Lucy's patch, and well, I was coming over here to look at the plant here because I knew it was growing into the pasture, and I was curious if the cows were actually messing with the plant. And I noticed that there's the plants all over here, but also the cows are now, there's a fence. It's really hard to see, but there's a temporary fence that keeps them out of here so this can recover and the cows stay over there. But so this one, I think this is gonna probably damage itself. It's hanging on our fence we put up here, but it is getting bigger actually. Even with the cold weather, it's getting bigger and it's pulling down the fence. But the one that's kind of funny is this one that I found. It is kind of rough looking, but it's growing Cinderella style. And it's actually, sorry, I just got shocked by the fence. But, whoops. But anyways, the pumpkin is, I think what happened is I think the vine grew up on this little bush looking thing, and then it fell down because it's got some indents on the sides. It's all cracked, so I don't think it started that way, but it's got some cracks on the vines and stuff. But if I had to guess, this pumpkin's probably around 100 pounds right now. I haven't got a good look at it. Haven't tried to pick it up or anything. I don't want to mess with it too much because it's really cracked where it connects to the vine. But it's kind of funny that it is, I didn't even know it was growing, and it's growing over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's more pumpkins throughout this plant that are probably decent size. But at some point I'll go in there, and maybe not till we harvest things for Halloween, I'll figure out what's all in there. So that is where this video is going to wrap up. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you figured out what I thought was kind of funny, what happened to me. Maybe it wasn't as funny to you, but I thought it was kind of funny. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Just leave a comment down below. Please subscribe if you're not. Give this video a like, and thank you so much for watching all the way to the end.